So anyway, this is the thing that I thought about. You know, it'd be probably very befitting to kick it off something along these lines as well. Actually, we've been thinking about doing something like this for quite some time.
Right.
And we just never really got around to it for the most part until here just a few weeks ago. My wife and I were discussing and talking about it, and she said, y'all need to go ahead and just go on and do it.
Right.
So I hit my brother up, and I said, hey, man, let's just go and move forward, and let's do it. So that was like 2-3 weeks ago.
Right.
And now we're here today.
Here we are.
All right, so I'm Jerry Handy, senior right here from the big city of Lufkin, Texas, and this is Mr.
Anthony Woods
right here in the big city as well.
Exactly.
And just to give you a little background on myself, obviously he already mentioned that I'm a quote unquote pastor. And I'll be honest with you, actual factual, right? Is what we call this. I don't necessarily like going with and by titles. I just like to be an individual who lives the life and not necessarily get caught up in whether or not, you know, you call me a certain title.
Right.
If you want to call me brother, you call me brother.
I ain't mean to put you out there like that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, you know, because sometimes people just get caught up, and this is a good conversation. Sometimes people just get caught up in, no, you got to call me this and you got to call me that.
Right.
You ain't got to call me that, because at the end of the day, God didn't call me and say, I want you, you know, he didn't call me, well, Pastor Jerry or Assistant Pastor Jerry or Elder Jerry. No, he called me by, when he said my name going to be written in the Lamb's Book of Life, I don't think it has nothing to do with Pastor Jerry Handy in the Lamb's Book of Life. Mm-mm. I think it says Jerry Handy Sr. accepted him on such a day, and he accepted him as his personal Lord and Savior, blah, 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 and that was that. So anyway, didn't mean to go off on that. I just want people to understand that titles don't mean a whole lot to me. Not that I disrespect anybody else who wants to honor their titles. That's them. That's just not something that I choose to want to engage in.
But you knew you just went in just a second for a second. You went in like,
I went in.
Yeah, you went in for a second though, bro.
Well, hey. You know, that's real talk, Doc. That's real talk. That's what I'm talking about. Actual factual. So anyway, I live here in the city of Lufkin, and I've got my wife that is here with me. Actually, we're filming this in my wife's dining room area, whatever, which she gave me permission to do.
See the china.
As you can see the china in the background or whatever. So we because I was trying to do something real. She said, "Oh no, you can use. It's okay, fine. I'll use that, and we'll go with it." But anyway, we're here. My wife is here, and actually she's not here on the set right now, but she's here in the house. And we were looking forward to seeing his wife, but he says his wife is off getting her hair done here on the 5th of July. She's getting beautified. Yeah.
Well, she's beautiful already. I'm telling you.
Hey to the man.
She's a goddess. I'm
telling
y'all know she's a goddess.
She's a goddess. Okay, so anyway, obviously I'm a married man. I got, a handful of kids, and I've got grandkids, and I've got, I almost said great-grand. I ain't got no great-grands, but just a little bit about, me and where I come from and what's going on. I go to ministry here in Lufkin Harvest Family Worship Center, and been there for a few years. I still enjoy being around awesome people that truly want to make a difference in other people's lives. The last thing I'll say about me is that I am a driven type person that is entrepreneurial in mindset. Definitely follow the passion for being an individual who can impact other people as far as their own personal lives are concerned, financial lives, spiritual lives, all those things that that just really resonates with me. I think at the end of the day, we have a purpose for being here on this earth, and that purpose is to bless somebody else. It's not about you. So that's kind of a little bit about me, and I'm probably digging into I'll probably dig into more later on, but I'm going to let Mr. Woods kind of introduce, his side of the family.
Okay, me, I am Anthony Woods. I'm here. Just want to enjoy myself with my brother here. But I am a father of three. I have three grandkids and got a beautiful wife. And I am a jokester, character. Love to have fun, love to throw my voices, and just like to make people laugh. That's just me. Mm-hmm. And I just like, I love people. I love people and I love God people. But at the same time, I'm kind of no nonsense as well. Because you cannot feed me nothing and expect me to, you know what I'm saying, and think it's like verbatim. I don't know. You got to be real with me. You know what I'm saying? Try the spirit by the spirit. You know, you can feel bull crap when it's coming your way. Mm-hmm. And I pretty much feel it. Mm-hmm. But all that aside, man, I'm just a good, loving, just like having fun, cooking and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just a big old dude, you know what I'm saying? Because as you can tell, I don't miss no meals, bro. And I don't have to wait for my wife to cook for me. Neither. You know what I'm saying? I can do it for myself.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's, and that's pretty much how this came on. Just me and him just sitting up talking, man. And we having conversations, and it get deep. It go here and it go there. It go all over the place. But at the same time, I think people would like to hear what we talk about. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But other than that, man, I'm just ready to get this started. And I just want to hear and see what y'all think about this. Hopefully y'all will love it. If so, hey, you're going to see many, many more of these coming.
Yeah. So, well said, brother. Well said.
Thank you.
I do, and I'll say this up front. I, have been knowing this brother here for a minute. And, he has always been the type of person that is real and genuine and himself. And just, if he makes mistakes, he'll admit that he made a mistake. If he says something he shouldn't be saying, he'll say, forgive me, brother, whatever, or something like that. But anyway, he is a very genuine individual, and I really appreciate that part of him being real. Now, I just, we've had a lot of conversations. A lot. We talked about a lot of different things, and obviously there's some things that's going on in the country today. There's a lot of things that are going on in the lives of people right here in this little city, and it impacts us in so many ways. And I think sometimes we just forget about what part we can play in helping to try to, reel in some of this stuff. And I guess we'll kick it off just by saying that, if you had an opportunity to speak to one of these young brothers in our community right now, what would you say to them?
Well, what I say to them, first of all, it's the ideal of, when it comes to the young, it's you need to quit. What they do, I think, is that it's peer pressure goes with it, and also it's a little arrogant. It's a lot of little things that goes with it. But some of our brothers today, the young ones don't know. It's about their rep. I'm telling you, man, your rep will get you caught up. Mm-hmm. Your rep will get you killed, and your rep will get you put in the pen. Mm-hmm. It ain't about respect. I mean, rep is about respect. Sometimes it's easy to just walk away, but sometimes, especially when it comes to us male black men, that ego and pride, that pride a killer. That pride will not let you get out the way. It's going like, I ain't no punk, can't be punking. You got me messed up. Yep. See, that's one thing we have to lose. You know what I'm saying? If you cannot talk it out with somebody, well, I can say that now because I'm more mature. Now, I ain't gonna lie. When I was a little younger, I was ready to knuckle up. You know what I'm saying? But yes, right now, I'm not at that point anymore in my life. So I want to speak to the youth and let them know that when it comes to that, sometimes it's best to walk away and just, sit there and make a situation worse than what it is. Because sometimes, like they say that old saying, live and walk away. You know what I'm saying? And live another day. But because you never know what's going on in that next young man's mind. You know what I'm saying? You might just want to fight. This man might want to kill. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only thing about it. Sometimes main thing is pride when it comes to a lot of youngsters. Right. A lot of youngsters don't know how to just, take a little even if it's criticism or being punked or disrespected, sometimes it's best to just walk away. Right. So what you think?
Well, I'm telling you, a lot of things running through my mind right here, bro. And the thing that really hits home is that that is just so true, that there is a lot of pride in a lot of our young people, and there is some, you got to man up, or you got to prove who you are, and all this kind of stuff, and that can get you in a lot of trouble, sometimes even death.
Right.
And one thing that I always think about is that, it's our responsibility to try to be examples, good examples to these young men, but at the same time, we don't know what type of environment that they have come up out of. We don't know who reared them. When we were coming up, we had that, I don't know, you want to call it strict discipline, where there was structure in our home. When that, when you got out of line, you were able to get, brought back in line.
Hey, but one other thing we had community discipline.
That's where I was going. Yeah, because I'm telling you, bro, that is kind of what we facing with right now. We don't have that structure and that discipline. As the scripture says, if you spare the rod, you spoil the child.
Right.
In other words, you basically giving up on that child. People say, well, if your mama whoop you, or your daddy whoop you, whatever, they don't care about you. No, that's the reason they do care about you, because they're doing something to keep you from going down that destructive path.
Exactly.
So, those are the things that I think about when I hear about the young people and the things that they're doing, because, here in this city, we've never had the type of violence that's been going on, at least as long as I can remember being here in this city. But, I have to go back and I have to reflect back and say, so what's different now than it was when we were coming up? And needless to say, and this is just the truth, factual, this is the truth, is that this is just my observation. I could be wrong, but my observation is there's a lot of young parents.
Exactly.
Okay? There's a lot of young people that are having kids early, and sometimes when you have that extra weight and that extra burden, I guess you'd call it that, but you wouldn't really want to call it that. But when you have that pressure of having to be a certain person that you're not ready to be, and now you've got somebody who's looking up to you for that guidance, for that support, for that provision. That person is looking up to you, and you're not ready for that. So a lot of times it spills over into the grandparents to try to step in and bring some type of stability and some type of structure to that situation. And I just know that when I was coming up, and I know sometimes people say, well, y'all always bringing up stuff from, when y'all were kids.
It's still irrelevant, because like I say, on the thing about, then on another hand, because I come from a young mother. My mother was a young mother. But what she did do, she had a real strong family base. She had her mother, her aunts, and all that. And they kept us in the church. I ain't saying that's not an excuse, but whatever.
Yeah.
But we stayed in the church, and discipline. Main thing was discipline.
Yeah.
We got discipline. You know what I'm saying? Wherever we was at, we got discipline. And I think that's another thing, and it is today. A lot of kids is not disciplined the way we were disciplined.
Right.
Because now I know the court system, they took a lot of discipline out of it. But me personally, I'm not trying to hear that. Because you're not going to feed them. You're not going to raise them. You're not going to close them.
Right.
I'm not finna set them up for you to send them to the pen, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just being for real, y'all. Mm-hmm. So that's why, man, dude, I used to get with stitching cords, water hose, fan belt, high heel shoes, whatever
they get their hands on.
That's what
right.
you got with.
That's
but
right.
Then it wasn't called child abuse. It was called discipline. You discipline your child. You know what I'm saying? And then the way and this is another thing, I'm like, man, you cannot talk back to any grown person back when we was coming up. I'm talking about the little smart mouth and all that. Man, you will get cold cocked, really. And then another again, like I said, that community discipline. We used to get whooped by the community, and it wasn't a problem. Okay, if you was doing something wrong, and if your neighbor or the neighbor up the road or the neighbor around the block, because pretty much they knew your parents or your grandparents, and they knew who you were.
Right.
And if they know you was doing something wrong, they finna tear your butt up and then back us. Well, we used to say, man, please don't tell my mom.
That's right.
Please don't tell my mom. Because if she tell your mom, guess what? That's another one. Yeah. But now, bring it to today. Oh, you better not put your hand on my child. I don't know who you think
you go.
That's my child. I don't know. You ain't his dad. You ain't raised him. You did nothing. You know what I'm saying? See, that's the problem.
For
right
real.
there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They say it takes a village to raise a child.
That's
right. You know
right.
what I'm saying? But now, that's my child. Don't worry about him. I got this.
Yeah.
And you ain't even got yourself pretty much, but I got this.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's the way it is. It is what it is.
So, and that's the thing. So how did we get to that point to where, we don't realize the value in somebody else stepping in and helping out?
Because you said it. Now some of the parents are too young parents without that strong family, bond with them that help. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it is, babies.
Having babies. That's right.
They ain't raising babies. They just having babies.
Yeah.
It ain't raising babies. That's what a lot of it is.
Yeah.
And then, okay, I'm not being funny, but it's the truth. Okay, back then a grandparent was like, what? Maybe 50.
Yeah.
Maybe late 40s.
Yeah.
A grandparent now is 32.
Wow.
Great grandparent is 45.
That's right. Wow.
And it is what it is.
Wow.
But I'm serious. So when you get it like that, man, you got, and they still, some of them, they ain't really got their childhood out of them,
Right.
They still got, they still want to have their thing, but you got a child. And they ain't really just trying to hear that. That's me tapping, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But they still trying to have their fun and get out, do their thing and forget they got a child, in which they are a child themselves. So at the same time, those are some of the results that we see from that.
Right.
Because like you say, babies having babies, kids, they ain't even growed up themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we gonna go through these things.
Yeah.
And we gonna continue to go through them until
I just know that, as a community, we can be better and we can do better. And I think the more, people take it heart, the importance of reaching out. It's one thing about me and my wife, and I'll say this in all due respect to anybody else. This is just who we are. This is just what we do. There's always an opportunity to reach out to somebody. And I say that because, the scripture tells us that we should greet our brothers and sisters with a holy kiss, respectfully. Okay. Now,
good luck with that.
Yeah, there you go. So I hear you. So it's always been kind of a thing that we've done when we went into the house of the Lord. Right. And we would go around to every brother, every sister that we could get our eyes on, and we would go and embrace them and hug them and and welcome them to the house of the Lord, whatever, because we just like that connection with our brothers and sisters.
Right.
And the other thing is that you never know, and this is where I think we lose in a lot of the empathy and sympathy. We never know what people are going through. Okay? You just never know. They're there at the church house or the house of God for a reason.
Right.
They obviously need something. So it's always a good thing to reach out. If you can reach out in the church house, you can reach out to those. The point I was trying to make is, if you have that type of love and connection, in a church setting, then you should take that same love and that connection out into the community to reach some of these young people who are, all they're looking for is love, man.
Right.
Okay. And a connection, a family. They're looking to be a part of something. That's one of the reasons that I've heard, I don't know this for a fact, but some of the things I've heard is that that's one of the main driving forces behind kids joining gangs, because they want to feel a part of something that's doing something, that's moving, and whether it's right or wrong, indifferent. They want to be a part of something. So what can we do as a community to step in and help out in that particular area?
And I believe another thing, dude, man, to help this out enough, we need to put more resources into the black communities when it comes to playing sports, football, basketball, chess. It doesn't matter. We need to pour more into the black youth. What I'm saying, and just instead of like leaving them out there just dangling in the wind. Because the Boys and Girls Club, that's really just not enough. It's other aspects we have and other places that we do have out there. Because like every mom, mostly single moms or families, period, can't afford certain stuff to put their kids in. We need to come up to something where we can we can put these kids in and keep them constructive. I'm talking about it ain't even really just got to be sports. It can be like science, or it can be like mathematics. You know what I'm saying? When you build stuff, I ain't the
carpenter, construction,
any construction or
contractor,
anything like that.
Yeah.
Y'all forgive me. I get.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I'm saying though is something that we can do with our youth than just sports. It's more than just sports, because
that's true.
Usually everybody is not going to be an NBA star.
That's right.
Or NFL star.
That's right.
Or basketball or track star.
That's right.
But it's other things that they'll probably be good at. I'm like I said, man, I'm talking about architecture. You know, anything. It's just something that we need to do is keep their mind occupied, and then keep them, positive, instead of thinking about negative things. And then a lot of that is, I ain't gonna just blame it on the music, because I listened to a lot of gangster music when I was coming up, but I'm not gangster. It just, I listened to it. You know what I'm saying? And I felt it, but at the same time, I don't live it. You know what I'm saying? Because most of all the time, man, to be honest with you, I was really basic. I just wanted to be a family man. You know what I'm saying? When I knew I wasn't gonna make it to the NFL, okay, let me get a job and let me take care of my family, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of things that we can do with our kids, man. I'm serious, man, and just like I say, it just seemed like we just leaving them dangling in the wind, and we're not doing nothing with them. And then, like you said, they gonna come across their other buddies and boys and stuff, and they gonna get into the mischievousness, and then the mischievousness gonna lead to something more.
Yeah.
You know what something more mean?
Yeah.
And I just think as a community, as a whole, and that's me included, that we can do something better with our kids, instead of just pretty much, I ain't gonna say we ignoring them, but we ignoring them. Much.
Yeah. The thing I think that on our job, when we have problems in the production area, we always look for what the root causes are. Okay, what was a contributing factor to why we lost 15 minutes of, operating efficiency time on this particular area?
I got you.
And so that's what makes me go back and think. So what is the root cause for why these children are not being nurtured and brought up the way they should be brought up? You got to understand, for the most part, and this is just an observation on my part, is that you got, for the most part, one parent in the home the majority of the time. Okay? That's just the realest of the real. One parent in the home.
I come from one parent.
Yeah, me too. The other thing is that sometimes we have a lack of discipline. This is a deep one right here.
Hit it right there.
We have a lack of discipline on our part, because we are not there to be able to give them the structure that they need, because sometimes we have this, this peer pressure that comes down on us to make us think we've got to go and be like somebody else right down the street.
Exactly.
I'm just exaggerating here. I'm making $5 an hour and they're making $12 an hour, and I'm thinking I can keep up with the person who's making $12 an hour. It doesn't work like that.
No, it don't.
Okay, it don't work like that. So here I am trying to buy the things that, Sally Sue got going on down the road, and I need to work all these hours in order to keep up with that. We're talking about root cause.
Right.
We're talking about trying to figure out what's causing the kids not to have that connection, not having the kids give them the environment that they need. Well, sometimes we have to look as parents and say, okay, what can I do differently? Okay, is it worth me spending $100 a month on a cable? I'm getting off into the finances now.
Man, go ahead.
No. I'm just saying, is it worth me spending $100 and $150 on cable, and me working all these hours to make the money so I can pay that $150? Versus me saying, okay, I'm gonna cut this cable and I'm gonna trade that time, okay, that I was working for the cable, and I'm gonna give it to the kids. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just the little things we have to stop and ask ourselves, what are we doing differently now today than we weren't doing back then? Because back in the day, I remember having a little small black and white TV.
See,
having to put a hanger as an antenna in the television.
Did you put some aluminum foil on it?
Aluminum foil.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, you was good though.
What I'm getting at is that that's how far we have come away from basics. You know what I'm saying? We've got to have this extravagant this and extravagant that or whatever. You don't necessarily have to have that.
Right.
You don't have to have it. You know, if you learn to live within the means that you have, your family can be better off.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then, like I say, like back then with Big Mama and all them, because they're gonna tell you, baby, baby honey, I know you want them shoes, but you know what? You ain't finna get them Converse. We finna go over here, y'all. Remember Bo? We finna go over here and we finna get these Bo shoes.
Yep.
We finna go get these boot cut Wranglers.
Yep.
And you know what? Don't worry about what they say in school, baby. Don't worry about them. As long as you dress.
Yep.
And don't worry about no cable. Because we got that antenna.
There you go.
And you know what? You get Channel 9, Channel 2, and I think it was another one.
Yeah.
CBS.
Yeah.
Baby, you gonna be all right, honey. You just gone to school. But they didn't care about all that. Oh, what you got on. Boy, stop. I know some stuff, boy. They didn't. Ooh, Lord, jeez. Some stuff I didn't wore in the day. I'm talking about turtlenecks. I'm talking about not the turtlenecks we know today. I'm talking about that wool itchy one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know the little jersey you had?
Yeah.
And it was some of them, hey, I come from a big family, a lot of brothers, and some of that stuff was just hand me down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, wash it up, put in the cleaners, here you go.
Yeah.
But they don't see it that way now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's got to be new. It's got to be Jordan. It's got to be Air Force One. Man, to today, I'm a grown man. I don't buy Jordans. I don't buy Air Force One.
Never.
Man, please. You think me, that's just me personally. I'm not finna put all that money on those shoes.
Yeah.
Man,
and the thing is, you know, and I've said this to people before, not that I can't go out and buy a pair of Jordans right now. Okay. But the thing is, I understand priorities. What's important? Okay. First thing is important. I learned this in a financial class here many moons ago, is that your primary needs, food, clothing, shelter, transportation, right? Once you got all those things taken care of, then you should be good. It ain't about, you know, what so-and-so. And this other thing is, man, I know we all.
I mean, we all over the spectrum, man. It's actual factual, baby.
That's what I'm saying. But
it's actual factual.
It's all tying together because we talked about the kids. We talking about what's pulling from the kids, and it's the I don't know, the consumerism. Is that what they call it? Is that the word? We want to
chasing the Jones.
Yeah, trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Exactly.
All these things that we're trying to buy and we can't afford because we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and we're trying to keep up with the Joneses. We letting the kids suffer because we're not there to take care of them because we got to go work to pay for all this stuff that we just thought we had to have.
Exactly. And then you don't have the time to spend with the kids because you know what?
That's it.
Too busy working trying to keep up with Jones.
That's it.
And I ain't finna do it. I'm at the age now. Well, I ain't finna do it. I all mine's grown too. So.
There you go.
You gotta worry about that.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Because some of these jobs, I tell a person like this, you know, when they work all these overtimes and all this, and they're like, oh, I gotta get this. I say, you ain't working no overtime. I say, man, first of all, I know I'm not gonna get rich in this place.
Right.
I'm not finna break my back trying. But
right.
Don't let me knock your hustle, man.
Yeah.
Get your one. Get your one. But me personally, I'm finna do this 8 in the gate.
Yeah.
I'm deuce. After my 8, I'm deuce.
8 and the gate. I ain't never heard it put like that. But that hey, there you go. But this is the other thing is, and I guess we'll jump off on this here just a little bit, is that, you know, if you have a plan, okay, and you understand what you're doing and where it's actually going to be an asset for you down the road, then I won't have a problem with you working the extra hours. Okay, if it's a situation where I'm trying to work these hours because I want to start pulling some debts out of my, you know what I'm saying, removing some of these liabilities. If I'm working these extra hours so I can pay down all this debt to get rid of stuff because they give me more freedom, so I have to keep working as long, then I get it. Because that way you having a plan is something that you're going, you know, that you're trying to accomplish. You got a goal. You have an objective. And I'm trying to get to that goal or to that objective. So I'm going to utilize the competence to the best of my ability to get the things that I need and want for the time being. Okay. I understand you ain't going to get rich on these jobs, but at the same time, you did not get in the mess that you're in overnight, and it's going to take you a minute to get out of it.
Well, sometimes, man, you just got to submit, man. You can't say all that. No, just play. But anyway, let me clarify this for y'all. Like I say, I work an hour and a half away from Lufkin. Mm-hmm. And first of all, they provide me with a ride to work. So I'm not finna wear and tear on my